I'm T-Pain, and welcome to Let's Learn C++. Today I'm using Visual Studio Community Edition, which you can download from visualstudio.com. However, you can follow along with whatever IDE you like. Check out the description below for links to previous tutorials and playlists if any topic is unfamiliar. Today's topic is Destructors. Destructors are people who love explosive and others are politicians. I'm not a fan of either, so I say stick them in a cage match and let them fight to the death. No, that's too brutal, not even for a joke. Alright, Destructors are the opposite of constructors and handle how a class is destroyed, thus the name Destructors. This will be much more important in the next tutorial when I go into Dynamic Memory Allocation. To create a destructor is pretty much the exact same way as you'd create a constructor. The only difference is that you add a tilde or squiggly in front of it. By the way, the tilde key is immediately left of the number 1 on the top of your keyboard, and you have to hold shift when you press it. Alright, let's look at an example of a destructor. Alright, so up top we've got our boilerplate code that's importing the IO stream and the string and using namespace standard. Then we have our implementation of a class called RipTire, and we have the constructor right here and the destructor down below. And again, it's the only difference between the two is the squiggly line or the tilde character right before the name of the class right here. Also, you'll notice that I have this keyword here that says no except immediately after the parentheses. I'll explain this in just a bit. We scroll down further, down below we'll find our main function. And here in a single code block or within a set of curly braces, all we have is our RipTire being instantiated and then destroyed. As you may recall, any local variables within a code block will be destroyed at the end of the code block. Simply by placing these curly braces here, we're just going to create and destroy an instance of the RipTire class, stored in R. Okay, so what happens if we go ahead and run it? First, what happens is what's printed out is fire in the hole, which is the line that says we're actually in the constructor. And then down below we have squiggly boom, which is immediately follows that one to let us know that the class is being destroyed. So we have our RipTire being created, and then we have a RipTire being destroyed. Perfect. And that is it. So all we do is press enter and to exit the program. Okay, so the first thing worth noting is that inside the parameters right here for the destructor, you should not have anything ever. The destructor should never take any parameters and will give you a compiling error if you do put anything in there. And now, here are a few recommendations I want to highlight that are in the C++ core guidelines. C.30 says define a constructor if the class needs an explicit action by an object's destructor. It's also slightly echoed in the following rule of C.31. All resources acquired by a class must be released during the class's destructor. So again, this will come into play in a later tutorial when we go into Dynamic Memory Allocation and we need to free up resources that we have allocated off the heap. For now, generally you won't need to actually define a destructor. Up until now, we haven't done anything that would actually warrant or need a destructor to be defined, which is why I've left it until now to talk about, because it's not really that necessary just yet. Following that, C32 through C35 are all iterating a lot of the same stuff, talking again about dynamic memory allocation. C.36 is pretty important, and it says a destructor may not fail. And C.37 says something similar in that make destructors no except. So destructors should not ever fail in doing their job of freeing up memory or whatever they're doing. So in order to assure that, we add the keyword no except right here after the parentheses but before the curly braces. And that'll stop the program from raising any exceptions while the destructor is running. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Great job keeping up. You're a fantastic programmer, and if you're looking to challenge your skills, check out hackerrank.com. Special thanks to my Patreon supporters, Jeremy Watt, Marcus Garfunkel, JK, and Mike Jonas. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for your support, and as always, like, subscribe, and keep the dream alive.